Common mistakes that people make during scholarship interviews that you should avoid, and I'm going to divide these into two. Now, the first category is presentation and preparation, and then the other mistakes are usually made during the interviews. So, presentation and preparation mistakes. Number one is first impression. How do you look? How do you present yourself for an interview? Does matter. Please do not come wearing a headscarf. Please make an effort to look nice. Wear some makeup. Put on a nice outfit, something formal that is not revealing. Nobody wants to see your cleavage. Nobody wants to see your arms. Nobody wants to see, your entire body. All they want to see is that, like the photo, the passport size photo, just your headshot and maybe your upper body, and then make sure that once you show up for the interview, your camera is facing the light. So if, for instance, the light is the opposite direction and all they see is darkness, first of all, as Africans, we're already black. So if they can't see you, they just see something black. They can't read your facial expressions, because all these things, body language, contribute to how you answer your questions and how you are graded according to confidence and all of that. So make sure your presentation is great, because that is marked as well, in addition to how you appear. So once you have the light in your face, they can see you. You can ease it in by, giving a smile, because somebody that smiles is usually more, attractive to either look at or even to approach. So make sure that you don't give a scared, don't show that you're scared. It is okay to be anxious, but don't have your nerves written all over your body, okay? By panicking, biting your lips, nearly crying, it is okay. Just calm down, and when you calm, breathe in, out, smile, get ready, okay? Next is poor internet connection. This is about preparation. Oh God, the number of candidates that have been disqualified. I think we've had 3 candidates that were disqualified because of poor internet connection. It is a very big problem in Africa. Totally understand, but make sure you prepare enough. So how do you prepare your internet if you don't have a Wi-Fi connection? Make sure you have enough data to last you at least an hour. If you don't have that, please make sure you go to a place, an internet cafe, go to an office where you pay for some hours for you to use stable internet. Now that is going also to electricity. Again, I have witnessed candidates who have lost opportunities because in the middle of their interviews, power got cut off. Electricity cuts, happened. It is not their fault, but my dear friend, charge your devices and have more than one. If you're going to use a laptop, have more than one laptops. You can borrow from your friends, you can borrow from your family. Have a laptop and a phone nearby, because let me tell you, because of panicking, anxiety and stress from the interview, you might not even remember how to turn off the computer. It has happened for one of our candidates, okay? Or you might forget even your phone password. Avoid uncomfortable, noisy places. Yes, people have come to the interviews while their children are crying in the background, while their nieces, nephews are crying in the background, their parents are shouting in the background, sisters and brothers are shouting, people in the market. Please find a place that is safe. Respect the interview, okay? This is a life-changing opportunity for you. So make sure that you find a place that is quiet. Practice. Okay, make sure that you find a place that is quiet. See a convenient time in your home where nobody will be shouting. And if you can't find that convenient time, or if you feel the lighting in your house is not enough, borrow a friend's space. Go to an office, go to a cafe, go to a place that is quiet, where you think that your privacy, number one, will be respected. Nobody will come in to interrupt asking you questions. Nobody's going to come and shout and interrupt you and distract you from the interview. So I hope that is very clear. Another thing when it comes to preparation is your ID. Now, some of these interviews, especially like the Chevening ones, are done in person. So you have got to be there physically. Carry your ID so that they know that this is Hilda that is coming, so that they know this is Justin, this is Caroline that is coming for the interview, this is David that is coming for the interview. Otherwise, how will they know? Even if you have showed your photo, usually on the interview they require you to share a photo, you have got to show your ID, at least your passport. Take something that shows your identity and can show who you are, basically. It should be related to what you shared in there as well. Another thing when it comes to preparation is practice. Do as many mock interviews as possible. Attend as many mock interviews as possible. See how other candidates answer these questions and see how best, feedback. See what the feedback they get. How have they done best? What can you improve? What can you do better? There are so many places, there's so many communities that you can join on Facebook, on Twitter, or it's no longer called Twitter, on X, on Instagram, on Telegram, on, you can also, join communities, paid communities like consultancies like ours at Study in Italy, where we can help you prepare for the interviews. Our candidates have prepared for the Chevening Scholarship interviews and the Erasmus interviews, where we get a panel of people that have won these scholarships, people that are experienced in these fields to come and actually, give them mock interviews. They come and actually get the questions like they would, get the answers and get feedback. And that gives you, a mock is like to tease you, to show you what the real situation would be like. It's like a simulation that helps you. And of course, they get to watch other candidates answer the questions and get the feedback and all of that. So they get to practice. And I see that that has helped them a lot. Now, if you can't afford that, you can join so many Facebook groups for you to practice. On Facebook, there's a Kenyan community for Chevening. There is a Ugandan community, I believe. There is a Nigerian community for Erasmus, and I am part of all those groups. And I make sure that I joined or I connect our candidates to all those groups, and then we bring them mentors to help them. So make sure that you're not isolated. This is not a top secret. You're not the only person that is applying, or you're not the first person that's applying for this scholarship. And what you're going to do or what you're going to say is not the first thing. They're not going to ask you a new question. So basically, all these questions have been asked before. Make sure that you go and see how to prepare. What makes you unique is how you answer them, because your experience and your aspirations are unique, and that is what they're always looking for. So make sure that you do the mock interviews, you prepare, you watch others, you read what others have written, articles and all of that. Be part of a community. Working with a community is going to help you a lot. Now let's move on to the next. Now let's go to the mistakes that are usually done during the interview. First one is eye contact. I think this happens mainly if people are shy, introverts, the people that are being interviewed. Usually there's a panel that sits right across you, and you choose that one person that maybe is wearing a favorite color, and that is the person you look at. You are supposed to give eye contact to every single panelist, and then especially the ones that are usually giving you questions and follow-up questions. Make sure you look them straight in the eye, and make sure you're talking to them. You're not talking to yourself, or you're not looking in the sky. It is very, very good manners actually to look in the eye of a person as you speak to them. Now, people that are doing their interviews virtually, that is online, make sure that you look in the lens, in the camera, because if you look at the pictures of the people, it will look like you're looking down and you're trying to cheat, which is going to take me to point number 2. Do not bring any cheat notes, any notes to remind you of very special points. No, make sure you practice and you prepare and remember. Having cheat notes, and once you're noticed, to be looking at a certain note, or somebody, being there helping you, will disqualify you, of course, immediately. Next is poor time management. I'm sorry, the interview is 45 minutes. If you want to spend 30 minutes introducing yourself, you're only going to get 2 questions, and you're going to miss out on the other 3 questions, which are very essential as well for your part of the interview. That means you will only be marked out of 2 questions instead of 5. So make sure that you are conscious with the time, and that comes with practice. Go and practice using the mock interviews, okay? Go practice. There's so many. I can't even tell you. Go on YouTube. You will find so many mock interviews on every single scholarship, because you're not the only person, or you're not the first person to win this scholarship, unless it's new, but usually they are usually related. The other thing is being too modest. I think it comes from the culture, as some African, people, including myself, we are taught to think that, if I'm modest, if I am humble, I'm going to, create a good impression, especially women. I've seen it with women. Men are usually, they go getters, and then they like to brag about their achievements. Go ahead and brag about your achievements, my dear, okay? Don't be so, arrogant. Yes, don't be so arrogant, which is like a lot of confidence, and then don't be too modest. So just have a great balance and talk about the things you have done proudly. Honey, this interview is a chance for you to market yourself. Okay, whatever you have written, whatever you have said, everybody, first of all, that has been invited to the interview, to do the interview, is qualified. So qualifications away, it is time for you to now market yourself. What more than academic documents can you give, okay, in terms of leadership? So make sure that you market yourself the best way. Don't sell yourself short, okay? Don't say, I really was good when I worked in that department, but now it's been 3 years that I haven't worked. Nobody asked you for so much detail. Some of you like to go ahead and say, oh, I don't support this political party. Nobody asked you about politics. All you have to do is talk about your leadership skills. Okay, that is all that they're looking for. So don't give too much details. That's not needed. Don't talk about what you're not asked about. The other thing is that I've noticed, especially with our candidates, is if you're given a 2-part question, most people answer the first part of the question and then ignore the second part of the question, and then that usually comes back as a follow-up question. Now, when it comes back as a follow-up question and you say, like I already mentioned, or like I already answered, they're not stupid to ask the question again. It's because you didn't answer that part of the question, and that's what they're looking for. Okay, so make sure that you listen to the question, and if you've not heard, ask for pardon. It is not like you're in military school in that moment and you shouldn't do that and you shouldn't do this. You can always ask for pardon even 3 times, so that during the time that when they're repeating the question, you are formulating your answers, or you're structuring, you're organizing your answers if you have got your answers all over the place. Okay. The other thing is generalizing. I have noticed candidates being too general when it comes to giving examples of their leadership skills and leadership traits, things they've done in the past. So I would like you to be very, very specific. If you have helped people, for instance, if you are talking about what is a common topic, like for instance engineers, water engineers, for example, if you're talking about water engineering, sanitation, and all of that, and that is the topic, that is the study program that you want to pursue, and they're talking about the leadership skill, your leadership traits or things that you have done in the past, and you want to talk about, for instance, a pit latrine that you built. Name the district, number one, that is going to make you unique. How many people did it impact? How many people were suffering before that? How did the people accept it? How did you train them to use them? Because if people don't have a pit latrine before, definitely they don't know how to use it. So you've got to train them. So be as specific as possible to give the nitty-gritties of the details, because that is what is going to make you unique. Because guess what? In most industries, most examples are similar, unless you mention that specific, district or specific village in your country, which is unique to your interview, or which is unique just to your work experience. The other thing is lack of clarity. Some of the candidates that I've noticed have been very vague with their answers. It is okay not to know the answer, but don't let people know that you do not know the answer, if you know what I mean. So when you're answering your question, avoid being vague and then taking people, for instance, answering another question. If they ask you about what your career plans are in the next 5 years, then you go ahead to talk about the history of the things you have done, and then stop there. Or maybe you go ahead to talk about a completely different question. That is not clear. They might ignore you, or they might ask the question again as a follow-up question, but I want you to be as clear as possible. Make sure that what you are articulating is clear. If you do not know, do some research. Like I mentioned before, prepare. Do research in your industry. What are people doing in your industry? Industry leaders, how are they solving problems? Maybe that could be a way that you can copy, something that you maybe inspires you or something of the sort. The other thing is lying. I have seen candidates lie with their examples. Kindly don't lie. Because, for instance, if it's the British Council that's going to interview you, they know the goals that they've got, for instance, for your industry in Uganda or in whatever country that you're in, or if it's the European Union, they know. So do not lie about things that are very obvious. Okay? So don't go ahead and lie about a certain, SDG goal. Don't go and lie. Don't quote things that you're not sure of. Unless you're sure of something, quote it, okay? But if you go ahead and lie or give examples where you're lying, they're going to ask a follow-up question and then you won't be able to defend that. Do not lie about your experience, because they will ask you about these people that you're mentioning and then be like, who is Mr. Tumukunde maybe? But you mentioned Mr. Tumukunde, that he was your mentor. So make sure that you give the right examples. Last but not least, people forget to ask a question. So for every scholarship interview, at the end of it all, if there is time, they usually ask, do you have a question for us? So wherever you are, prepare a question. Do not ask anything that is unrelated. Don't ask about politics. Like, I would never ask about politics. I discourage my candidates to ask about politics. So ask a question about your industry, you know, ask them what plans they have. You could also ask about the scholarship itself. For instance, if you're asking about the Italian scholarship, Italian government scholarship, the Chevening Scholarship, or the Erasmus, you could ask them about what plans they have for people in your industry in the next 5 years, for instance. But prepare a question. You can Google these questions. There's so many questions. Or if you have anything specific in your field that has been disturbing you that you want a solution to, ask them, and then that will, you know, make them know that you have researched and you have prepared pretty well. I hope this video has been helpful. Make sure you follow and see the next one. Bye.